Hello, I'm Linda Sechrist, the editor and senior staff writer for Natural Awakenings magazine, and I'm here today interviewing Yvette McGlasson for an article that I'm going to be writing in our April issue. So we're going to talk about her background and what it is that she's doing now, how she's been able to apply her years of experience dealing with people to what she does today. So welcome, Yvette, Amrit Yoga Method. Why don't you talk a little bit about how that is different than the typical, I know when I go to yoga classes that most people just are thinking in terms of postures, but that's not all. There's two sides to that, to the Amrit Method, which I think make it unique for me and anybody else who does it. But do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. From the Amrit Method, what makes it, I wouldn't say I can use unique because it is unique. When people practice it, they come back and say, wow, what was that? But because you are cultivating sensation in the body and you are cultivating an awareness of sensation in the body, that is something that you have the first half of the posture and you have the second half of the posture. So the first half of the posture is being guided into your postures, whether you're doing eagle, whether you're doing dancing Shiva, whether you're dancing tree pose, whatever the pose is, it doesn't matter what the pose is. It's allowing the guidance into it in a very safe way with a full body alignment, with full body awareness. And then when you hold the posture, you are then still moving with your breath. You're very aware of your breath. And the breath is the bridge between the mind and the heart that will bring you back into your body. So once you have transitioned out of the pose, you then come to a place of stillness, a place of balance, and then you feel the sensations that are moving through the body, the energy that moves through your body as it's releasing the tension that's the holding that's been in the body for such a long time. So those are different elements of it, is the inner world, the inner exploration to recognizing that there's so much more to the body than what we take for granted. And when you begin to recognize sensation in the body, when you're on the mat, I'll put it that way, when you're in your life and you begin to recognize sensation first, it's the first recognition of something that's coming up and out of you that could turn into a reaction or remain as a response. So when you begin to, if I have somebody who is who suffers from panic or anxiety, you always feel it in your body. And yet people who suffer from intense panic attacks or intense anxiety are so disconnected between their heads and their bodies. And Amrit Method brings you back into your body to honor the body, to feel your way through your life from without a label of it, without having to identify the name of the feeling, just to feel it as a feeling. And that becomes a witness perspective, a place of observation, so that when you're in it, you can step out of the story, observe it, and then choose response over reaction.
Good explanation.
Thank you. I think Gurudev would be very proud of you for that one.
He definitely would. It's to me, it's the only style of yoga that really changes lives. You can change your body with any style of yoga, especially hot yoga, but you can't change your life with just postures. It has to go deeper than that.
Do you know, when I was at a program and we had a yoga class one morning, and one of the students just decided to lay down in Shavasana, and she fell asleep because she was snoring. It didn't bother me, but it bothered one of the students so much that after the class, she came to complain to me about it. And she said, "This is really bothering me. I'm really upset about this." And I said, "Well, congratulations." And that was not the answer she was looking to hear. And I said, "Look, that young woman who fell asleep next to you but she didn't follow your instructions. It doesn't matter. Your experience on the mat is your experience. I am not somebody who teaches that you have to do exactly as I tell you. I'm not a militant teacher. If she needed that, it's what her body asked her to do. But what she represents is far beyond your yoga class, because there's something in your life that somebody's doing that's causing this trigger, and she only represents that. And that's truly when you are bothered by something when you're on the mat, it means number one, your mind is elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
Yep. And number two is there's a seed, a root cause to that reaction. And that's what you have the opportunity in the Amrit method, is to discover that and keep digging at that same hole. To find
Same, that's important, to dig at the same hole, not 50 other different holes.
Yep.